This is an absolute scandal that has Bulls fans in complete meltdown right now. Handre Pollard, the 16 million rand man who was supposed to save the Bulls season, has played just 2 out of 7 United Rugby Championship matches while the franchise crashes and burns. 2 games. The Bulls are 10th in the table, they've lost 4 matches already, and their star fly-half keeps getting rested under mysterious Springbok protocols that nobody understands. Fans are demanding answers, social media is exploding, and what we've uncovered about this situation will shock you to your core. Before we expose everything, you need to hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me if you think Pollard is being protected or if something else is going on. Let's get into this mess. Let's start with the cold hard facts that have Bulls supporters absolutely furious and questioning everything about this entire situation. Since returning to South Africa and signing that massive 16 million rand contract that made headlines around the world, Handre Pollard has started just 2 United Rugby Championship matches for the Bulls. 2 starts out of a possible 7 fixtures. He played against Ulster in Belfast on October 19th, where the Bulls lost 17-10. He played against Bordeaux in Pretoria on November 1st, where the Bulls won 27-21. And since then, radio silence. Complete absence. 0 game time. The Bulls have played 5 more URC matches since that Bordeaux victory, and Pollard hasn't featured in a single one of them. He was rested for the match against the Ospreys. He was rested for the crucial derby against the Stormers, which the Bulls lost. He was rested for the match against Munster. He was rested for the game against Northampton Saints, a team he knows intimately well from playing in England. And he was rested again for another critical fixture. 5 consecutive matches sitting in the stands or watching from home while his teammates struggled desperately without him. If you're shocked by these numbers, hit that like button right now and let me know in the comments if you think this is acceptable for a 16 million rand player. Here's what makes this situation even more infuriating for Bulls fans. During those 5 matches that Pollard missed, the Bulls won just 1 and lost 4. Their season is imploding. They're sitting in 10th place in the URC table with a terrible record, and their highest-paid player is nowhere to be seen. The team desperately needs his leadership, his goal-kicking accuracy, his game management skills, his ability to control matches. But instead of being on the field helping his teammates, he's being protected and rested under protocols that seem to only apply when it's convenient. The stats paint a picture of absolute dysfunction. In the 2 matches Pollard actually played, the Bulls scored 47 points total and averaged 23.5 points per game. In the 5 matches without him, they've struggled massively to generate consistent attacking threat and have looked completely lost in crucial moments. The correlation between Pollard's absence and the Bulls' poor results is undeniable. Yet somehow, the decision-makers at Loftus Versfeld keep choosing to rest him while the season burns down around them. Now let's talk about these so-called resting protocols that are being used to justify Pollard's mysterious absences, because this is where the story gets really interesting and the explanations start falling apart. According to Bulls management, Handre Pollard is being managed under special Springbok player welfare protocols that dictate when and how often he can play. These protocols supposedly exist to ensure that South Africa's key players don't get overworked during the domestic season so they're fresh and injury-free for international duty. Sounds reasonable on the surface, right? But when you dig deeper, nothing about this situation makes any sense whatsoever. First major problem with the resting protocols explanation. Pollard has only played 2 matches. How can someone possibly be overworked or need rest after playing just 2 games in almost 3 months? Professional rugby players at the highest level are conditioned to play week after week. The idea that Pollard needs to be wrapped in cotton wool after 2 matches is absolutely absurd and insults the intelligence of Bull supporters who pay money to watch him play. Second massive issue. Other Springbok players aren't being rested nearly as much as Pollard. Look at Canan Moodie, another key Springbok who plays for the Bulls. He's been available and playing regularly. Look at players at other franchises who wear the green and gold. They're suiting up week after week without these mysterious protocols preventing them from helping their teams. So why is Pollard being treated differently? What makes him so special that he needs constant protection while other Springboks are expected to fulfill their franchise commitments? Make sure you're subscribed because we're giving you the real story that mainstream media is afraid to cover. This is investigative journalism. Third glaring contradiction that exposes how flimsy this excuse really is. When Bulls CEO Edgar Rathbone announced Pollard's signing, he explicitly promised that Handre would play a minimum of 15 URC matches per season. 15. That was the commitment made to justify the massive salary and get fans excited about his return. We're now several months into the season, and Pollard has played 2 matches with no indication that he'll suddenly start playing regularly. At this rate, he won't come close to 15 matches, which means either the CEO lied to supporters or something has dramatically changed that nobody is willing to admit publicly. While Handre Pollard sits at home being rested and protected, the Bulls franchise is experiencing a complete meltdown that threatens to destroy their entire season. They've lost 4 out of 7 URC matches, including crucial games they absolutely should have won. They're sitting in 10th place in the table, their worst start to a URC campaign in 5 years. The fans are revolting on social media, calling for heads to roll and demanding explanations. This is a disaster of epic proportions, and the absence of their star fly-half is making everything so much worse. The psychological impact of Pollard's constant absence cannot be overstated. Imagine being a Bulls player, struggling through matches, desperately needing leadership and experience, and knowing that your highest-paid teammate is sitting at home for mysterious reasons nobody will properly explain. That destroys team morale. It creates resentment. Players start wondering why they're putting their bodies on the line every week while Pollard gets special treatment. The inequality of it all is toxic to team culture. Bulls supporters are even more frustrated because they can see what's happening with their own eyes. They watch other South African franchises competing hard every week with their Springbok stars available and contributing. Meanwhile, Loftus Versfeld is half empty because fans don't want to pay premium prices to watch a team without their marquee player. Season ticket holders feel cheated. Casual fans feel deceived. The trust between franchise and supporters is breaking down completely, and nobody in Bulls management seems to care. Drop a comment right now if you're a Bulls fan and tell me how angry you are about this situation. Let your voice be heard. So what's really going on here? Because the official resting protocols explanation doesn't add up, and there has to be more to this story that isn't being said publicly. After digging deeper and connecting dots that Bulls management hoped nobody would notice, a picture emerges that explains everything and makes the situation even more controversial. Handre Pollard's second daughter, Isabella, was born in October 2025, just weeks before the URC season began. Having a newborn baby at home is incredibly challenging and exhausting for any parent. Could it be that Pollard's absences have less to do with resting protocols and more to do with family commitments that he and Bulls management don't want to admit publicly? If that's the real reason, which seems likely given the timing of Isabella's birth and Pollard's sudden unavailability, then it raises massive questions about transparency and honesty. Why not just tell fans the truth? Why hide behind vague protocol excuses instead of saying that Pollard needs time with his young family? Supporters would be far more understanding and sympathetic if they knew the real situation. Instead, they're being fed nonsense about resting protocols that make no sense, which breeds suspicion and anger. There's also another uncomfortable possibility that needs to be discussed. Could Pollard be dealing with an undisclosed injury that Bulls management is desperately trying to hide? If he's actually hurt and can't play, but they're pretending it's about rest to avoid admitting they signed an injury-prone player to a massive contract, that would be a scandal of enormous proportions. The complete lack of transparency from Bulls management makes people suspicious that something significant is being covered up. Whatever the real truth is, one thing is absolutely certain. The current situation is unsustainable and unfair to everyone involved. It's unfair to Bulls supporters who paid for season tickets expecting to see Pollard play regularly. It's unfair to Bulls players who are fighting battles without their general on the field. It's unfair to Johan Ackerman who's trying to coach a team in crisis without access to his best player. And ultimately, it might even be unfair to Pollard himself if he's being forced to choose between family commitments and professional obligations without proper support. There you have it. The Handre Pollard controversy that has Bulls fans in absolute revolt. 2 games out of 7 mysterious resting protocols that don't add up, and a franchise in complete meltdown. If this made you angry or shocked you, smash that like button, subscribe for more truth bombs about South African rugby, and drop a comment telling me what you think is really going on. Is it family? Injury? Poor management? Let me know your theory. This story isn't over, and we'll keep digging until we get real answers.